Hi, I'm Brittany.
And I'm Lindsey.
And we're not your average mamas. On this podcast, we'll dive into navigating the exciting and challenging world of modern motherhood.
Join us while we share our ups and downs as we tackle the everyday chaos of parenthood.
Whether you're a brand new mom or a seasoned parent, get ready for some real talk and plenty of laughter.
Being a mom is about doing it your way because let's face it,
you're not your average mama.
So our children are watching, her children are watching the little children. So
the 5 and 7 year old are watching the 2-year-olds. Last time they were left alone, they were trying to give themselves a bath. But
they weren't alone. They were with their dads.
I know. So honestly, this might be a step up.
I know.
This might be
I'm a little
leveling
less
up.
worried.
Honestly, I will say that dads watching football is less attentive than I spoke to when someone's crying.
Are they though?
Yep, that's right.
Okay. Sorry. Intermission. Welcome back to season 1, episode 7. Lucky number 7.
Yay.
Not Your Average Mamas podcast. I'm Lindsey.
I'm Brittany.
We're Not Your Average Mamas. We're back. And
we're
excited
in Christmas
to be
gear.
Yeah, we are.
We're both rocking Grinch-themed t-shirts.
Mm-hmm. We need to take a picture because we matched.
I know. Shocking.
No one was shocked. Your husband this week, or last week, was just like, ugh, you look like Brittany.
We're just slowly morphing into one person.
Yes.
Which is really weird since she's married to my brother. So it's probably uncomfortable for him, but he's dealing with it. If you notice, my voice is like kind of sexy, sultry this week.
It is.
I have had just like the most minor cold, but it just is lingering. And it's just like, I don't know. I'm just randomly coughing here and there, but I feel fine. I just have a gravelly voice still.
How's your week? What's happening?
Not much. My husband's been working crazy hours. Today is Saturday that we're recording, and he's at his office right now, and he's been working till like midnight every night. So it's been a lot of solo mom time, which is fine, but probably why I'm a little run down. But leading up to Christmas, perfect timing, right?
Perfect timing to work, and then have to be a full-time mom, and also you're also working.
Yeah, part-time, yeah. It is.
And then you're also the magic of the season.
Gotta move that elf. Elf isn't gonna move itself. Spoiler alert. Sorry. Hopefully no kids are listening to this, but
yeah.
The elf moves itself. I mean, that's what about you?
The kids should not be listening to this.
They shouldn't.
I mark this as
explicit.
Yes.
I saw that, and actually I was like, oh, yeah, because I was seeing that it was rated clean, and I was like,
it's
probably not.
It has swear words, so that's the only reason.
And sometimes adult content.
Yes, that too. My week's been good, I think. I don't know. I don't even know what happened to this week. I feel like it was just like, boom.
I
over.
know. Well,
Saturday.
It's been 8 days since we recorded last, and I feel like that was literally 3 days ago.
Mm-hmm. I don't know what happened. I got through work, though. We did it. This week at work was interesting.
How
I'll
so?
just leave it at that.
Oh, okay. Mystery.
She'll
probably
if you
tell
know,
me
you
later.
know. If you know, you know.
The girls that know.
Yeah.
The girls that get it. That's what I meant.
Exactly. And if you know, you know.
Yeah. I was combining the two sayings.
So that's been great. Applied to a few more jobs. We'll see what happens.
We're hoping that she can get a 0.8, meaning she can hang out with me one day a week.
That one was taken. Did I tell you that?
No.
They called me and they're like, we just filled the position.
Sad.
And I was like, but there.
Can you just unfill the position?
There is a position open at a clinic that's like 15 minutes from your house. So that's also a positive.
Nice. We just need like a set recording schedule that we could just like be like every day or every week we record on this day so that every week we're not just like scrambling.
We'll get there one day.
Someday.
What else? Oh, we're getting a new dryer today.
Whoop, whoop.
I'm so excited.
Adulting.
Literally, I did my last load of towels with our dryer, and I dried it 4 times before my towels were dry.
Okay, so I just got back from my friend's house. She just got a new house. It was like their kid's birthday party. She has a washer and dryer in one.
I heard they break down a lot.
I don't know. She's only been there for 2 months. So far, so good. But I'm getting convinced. But I was like, okay, we have a linen closet in our bathroom that we don't use because we have like just an extra random closet.
Mm-hmm.
And if I could knock the wall down between that linen closet and our walk-in closet, and I could just put that washer and dryer in one there, I feel like my life would be so much better.
Yeah, I don't know why we have like separate
Units?
No, like separate. Like I feel like in Europe they put the washer and dryer in the bedrooms.
Yes, it shouldn't be on a different floor
Why
than
are we
you live.
putting it in the
Like,
basement?
I know. It's too much up and down.
Too much up and down. You want me to fold my laundry after I did 3 laps of going up and down? Like,
Oh, she's
and
not
put it
getting
away?
folded. No.
And put it away?
Absolutely
No.
not.
Absolutely not. Anyways, what is this episode about?
The episode this week is about recovering people pleasers. Of course, most people, I feel like the majority of people I know claim to be a people pleaser or were raised to be people pleasers.
I feel like we're the generation of people pleasers.
Yeah, it's just like blind obedience to your parents, and then you just kind of let that follow you throughout your life. But I got this book, and it's called Not Nice by Dr. Aziz Ghazipura. I'm not sure because my handwriting's a little wonky. We will link it in the show notes. But I kid you not, this book was so eye-opening for me. I opened it up, and I just wrote like 5 pages of notes instantly. It was like speaking to my soul.
Yeah, you were like, I got 1 page in and I have 5 pages of notes.
I know. I was like, make it make sense.
Dang.
How did I multiply the book? But I could not get enough of this book. It was so great. And I'm literally only a couple chapters in, but I could write 7 podcast episodes about it. So
This is
shout
part
out to
1.
this book. But there's so many great quotes from there. So first of all, there's a threshold moment when you decide to change. You can't take another day of being uncomfortable in your own skin and feeling inauthentic, phony, or forced in your interactions. In these moments, there's tremendous pain, but also an awakening. And you're just tired of holding back your opinions and being so terrified of upsetting others that you're sick to your stomach with worry about it, but it just feels so inauthentic to you. You just cannot be fake anymore.
Ooh, chills. Every week.
There's 5 signs of people-pleasing burnout. 1, you start to notice a lot of things you used to care about are starting to feel like unnecessary drama, and your tolerance of them is dropping to almost 0.
I feel that.
2, you're having a lot of thoughts about what might have been, but more importantly, considering what could be if you start making decisions differently. 3, you find yourself relating more and more to the introverts in your life as you become ready and willing to prioritize your time in ways that prioritize you. 4, you find yourself bored with meaningless chit-chat and want to dive deeper in your conversations.
Ooh, that one. Mm-hmm.
And last, 5, you spent your life living other people's expectations and dreams. And you start to question, when is it time for you to live your own? Which I just love that. You just start becoming unwilling to sacrifice your feelings for other people and other people's comfort.
Yes. As Elena's been saying lately in Morbid, the fucks to give in the land were barren. Or something like that.
I love it. It also, they also say healing also means taking an honest look at the role you play in your own suffering. Mm-hmm. And I've thought about that quote so much since reading it because there's so many people that just put the blame on others. And it is really hard to look at yourself as being the victim. Like you want to kind of play the victim sometimes.
For sure. Yeah.
It is your suffering, but like what can you do to like dig yourself out of that?
Yeah. And it's also like you can't control other people. You control how you feel about other people's actions.
Yes, exactly.
And I think taking responsibility for how upset you get at other people's decisions in life is tough. Mm-hmm. It's a slap in the face.
Another thing that I could not stop thinking about is that they say the opposite of nice isn't mean. It's being real and it's being direct and honest and truthful. Mm-hmm. And that changed my thinking so much because everyone just thinks, you're not going to be nice. You're just going to be mean. Like the book is called Not Nice. But it's like, no, I'm just not going to be fake and I'm not going to lie. And that's actually nicer when you're, Minnesota nice. Passive aggressive, nice.
Yeah.
Is not really truly being nice. You're just being fake.
I think just being honest.
Keeping the peace.
Yeah. I think that's like the big issue. I think being honest with people is way better than just being nice to avoid an uncomfortable situation.
Right. Keeping the peace doesn't keep your peace.
No.
It's keeping the other person's peace.
And it's just like putting duct tape on a sinking ship.
Yeah.
And hoping for the best.
Not nice means speaking up and asserting yourself, your opinions and your desires. And you do this because you want a full contact life with other humans instead of hiding behind a polite wall of fear.
I also feel like this stepping out of being a people pleaser is also being comfortable with cutting people out of your life.
Yes, which is, of course, you don't want to do that lightly, but it is so easy to just keep repeating the same patterns over and over again. And then you're the victim in your own suffering. You're playing the victim or looking at the role you play in your own suffering. Like you're just going back to the exact same situation repeatedly.
Which is never good.
I know, because being nice creates tension and resentment, and it limits your ability to truly give and love people authentically. There was another quote from the book that says, "I am the creator of my life. I no longer avoid, walk on eggshells, tiptoe around, or do the dance. I'm me, the real me, and it feels good, and I feel powerful. I feel worthy. And your authentic self is your greatest gift to the world."
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
And I feel like if people are mad or perceiving you wrong and they put that on themselves and they get mad at you for you being who you are, like obviously you want to like say things in a nice way, like
being considerate of others.
Yeah.
Being your authentic true self doesn't mean you're being inconsiderate of others or being rude or mean, but it's so hard to like be fake with people that are you're closest to, air quotes, like, because you're just showing them only part of you and maybe not even the real you. So how can you even have like a deep relationship at that point?
Yeah. I think the older you get, the more you realize that it's not about quantity, it's about quality, because life's too damn short.
And there are some people
quantity.
Some people fill your battery and some people just drain it so quick. And
so quick.
It's very crazy to like walk into a room of people that fill your soul. And then you're like, oh my gosh, this is just, you just leave feeling energized and happy and excited and have new ideas and people that make you want to grow and try new things and just be better. And then you go into a room of people that maybe you're not like as close with or people that are draining, and then you leave and you're just, I would have rather just been home.
Do you want to share, should we share anything personal about our people-pleasing lives?
Well, I've recently, I feel like once I turned 30, I had like a huge life epiphany. Like, how do I even say it? Essentially, where I've like spent the last 3 years really doing a lot of like personal work that I almost wish I would have done before I had kids. But sometimes you can't do the work until you have your kids because they're the ones that push you.
Yes.
Like they're life-changing in themselves.
They are so life-changing. They make you look at your life. They make you relive your childhood traumas. They make you want to be a better person. And they make you like, I feel like they make you be okay with getting outside of your comfort zone. And
they make you question so much. I feel like the things that you wouldn't have ever thought about. So sometimes I feel bad that I didn't do more like self-work before I had kids, but then it's like everything happens the way that it's meant to, and you can't grow until you go through something. You know what I mean? Like me and Jesse were just talking last week about how cool it would be to like go back to when we first moved to the Minneapolis area like 10 years ago and just relive all of our experiences and everything. And I was like, but what if it wasn't like with everything we knew now? Like just if we just start all the way back and relearn all our life lessons or whatever. He's like, then I would not want to relive my 20s. And I said, that's so true. I would love to go back knowing what I know now as perspective, but you can't get there until you go through the growing pains, until you go through all those transitions.
I think your 20s are meant to be a growing pain stage. And then when you're 30, you finally like realize what's important to you and you make that a priority.
Yeah. And you're ready to like do some of the harder work and you're more mature and maybe more stable in like your job and your life that you can not put you're not like spread so thin. Well, I guess you are in different ways.
In different ways.
You know what I mean? But you're
in my early 20s, I feel like you're just really good at ignoring your own body and your thoughts and stuff because you're just like, this is what I want to do. This is what I should be doing according to society. Partying and like
distractions.
Just treating your body like trash and your mind like trash until you get so burnt out that you have to tip the scale. Otherwise you just like fall into this world of like numbing out and not growing and just being miserable. Or you can choose a life where you like face everything and you balance out the other way. And I feel like I'm on the up. Like I'm like, okay, what do we need to do to put in the work to be a better person?
It's part of the growing, you know, like you kind of, most people go through a lot of that, especially if they're pretty social and there's like, they haven't really gotten to the point where you need to work through anything yet because you you're still kind of a kid.
Yeah.
Even though you're like legally an adult, like you're not, your brain isn't even fully developed till you're 25. So that's kind of like the tipping point. But I just, in the last couple months since I started reading this book and when I kept having that phrase go through my head, like the opposite of nice isn't mean, it's being true and authentic. And it just pops into my head every time that people-pleasing spirit comes up in me where I want to just like sugarcoat things and like gloss over things and not get into anything uncomfortable. I'm just like trying to hit things head on, especially with people that I care about. And it's not to be mean or confrontational because I do not like that at all. I'm a middle child. And
a Minnesotan.
Yes. Like I don't want the confrontation, but I don't want to be fake. And I want people to see me as being an authentic person. And
yeah. Me too. And I feel like the more authentic you are, the more things that slide into place in your life.
I don't know about you, but do you feel like part of people pleasing made you unsure of who you actually really were? Because that's one thing that I realized. I was like, who even am I? What do I believe? My head was so clouded with what everybody else wanted of me that I was so confused. And I realized I was 30 years old and I was like, what are my values? What do I believe? What do I honestly feel? Just myself without thinking about anybody else. And in doing that, you get to know yourself better. And it sounds so silly to wait 3 decades to do that.
Well, I think like childhood is a big thing for it. I feel like the older generations were told like kids should just obey you. So you learn to like obey your parents.
Not talk back
And like suppress your own feelings. So you're like the good child. Hello?
Who is it? Blind threats work sometimes. I hate to say it.
Pro tip.
Pro tip.
Bargaining.
Nap
I'm not against.
Or playroom light. What are you going to... I mean,
what are you gonna choose?
She had a choice. I would have made good on either, honestly. You want a nap? Okay, bye. Bye.
I feel like, yeah, you're just like taught how to be blindly obedient, and that falls into your, like, I feel like you have an aha moment when you're older, and hopefully like with our children we don't do that. I just think like you have a come to spirit moment, Jesus, whoever you believe in, and you're just like, whoa, what do I want? How do I feel about this? And then you're like, I don't know how I feel. How do I even like get in touch with my feelings?
There's a book by Julie Bogart called Raising Critical Thinkers that I got, and it's just like, it's so powerful, and it's something I really want to do because I never developed that skill until I was older. And it's like if you start them off young to think critically, think for themselves, I feel like they will have more confidence in what they believe and not have to second guess everything. And also, I tell them all the time, you can always change what you believe. You can believe whatever you want. And then if your beliefs change or if your thoughts or opinions on something change, it's okay because that's what we're meant to do is change and grow.
Yes.
And you can't do that without thinking critically about your own thoughts.
And like what you believed in before. And I think that's a big thing is like you can change what you believe because for so long I said this, so now I have to believe in it.
Right.
Forever.
Like you put yourself in the box of this is who you are. This is who other people expect me to be. So I should just be like a good girl and follow the rules and don't go against the grain. Make sure you fit into that box they want you to fit in.
I think also for women, it's so much harder because society also puts that box around us that we have to be good and compliant or otherwise we're viewed as crazy and difficult and stubborn. And then you don't want to be labeled as crazy. So you sit in this compliant box, and it's just like,
you got to sit and smile and be kind, but be like a great mom, work like you don't have kids, be a parent like you don't have a job, or a parent like you don't have a job, and you can't do everything.
No.
The family setup was not meant for two parents to work 40 plus hours outside the house and then figure out everything after work. It was meant to be, I mean, not to be like old school, but like if
somebody stays home,
somebody stays
works.
home, so that there's that balance, because there's too much on people's plates to do everything.
We're not biologically built for this.
There's only so many hours in the day, and that's why everyone is so burnt out, and it's so sad. And I'm like super, super blessed to be able to stay home. I never thought that I would, but as I'm realizing, like, my husband's life hasn't changed really since I stopped working my full-time job, and I do 96% of the child care duties and household duties.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I was doing that and
working full time.
Yes. So it's too much on people. And that's why people are just depressed and burnt out and tired. And why there's iPad kids now. You know, everybody's like talking about the generation of iPad kids. And it's like,
Gen Alpha. Well, what else are we supposed to do? Because we have to work 40 hours, clean, like keep our entire house clean at all times. And
engage your kids in sensory activities.
Yep.
Cook healthy foods, but make sure there's no chemicals or dyes or...
Oh my gosh, the toxins. Talking about toxins are toxic.
Our
oh my gosh.
foods are poisoned. Our
water
water
is poisoned.
Don't use tap water. Like, we can't really win. So I think that's why everyone is feeling burnt out. And I don't know how this is even relating to people pleasing. We've gone on a tangent.
Welcome to our minds.
Exactly. Such is the state of the world. But either way, I hope that you guys can stand up for yourselves, find what you truly believe in, and be confident in it. And just try to grow. And
always be growing. Sometimes you got to be mowing.
That's true. Can't mow if you don't grow.
Exactly.
But I love that. Like, your authentic self is your greatest gift to the world. Back to that, it's like that is what I've seen so much online lately is that's like your highest vibration is authenticity. And that's what people crave and they want, because in this world of like fake filters, fake news, fake everything, it's like, where's the authenticity? People are craving it. And like you being authentic is just makes it available to other people to be their authentic selves too. Let's all just be weird together.
Let's get weird. Put that on a t-shirt.
Do you know that song?
Let's get weird.
I have an Am I the Asshole for the week.
Do you have an asshole?
I got an asshole for you. Oh,
whoa. Shoot to duty.
Am I the asshole if I stop paying my daughter's tuition over a disgusting comment she made that was directed at my new girlfriend? My wife died at the young age of 51 from a car accident. I, 56 male, was in deep mourning for about a year after her death. I met my new girlfriend, C, 43 female, around January. C was the one who made me laugh for the first time after my wife died. She's smart as hell, 3 Ivy League degrees, has a dark sense of humor that I love, is a terrific cook, and an overall amazing woman who I can imagine spending the rest of my life with. She's also on the heavier side, a fact that becomes relevant later.
Okay.
I have 2 children, E, 25 male, and A, 19 female. They were well aware that I'd gotten a new girlfriend before I introduced them to C this summer. She got along immediately with E, but A was very standoffish. After that initial meeting, I asked A if there was something wrong, which she denied it. E and A both came home for Thanksgiving dinner. The dinner was going as well as it could have for the first 10 minutes. Although I noticed A glaring at my girlfriend the entire time. When my girlfriend went to grab another helping of mashed potatoes, my daughter made a comment that cruelly ridiculed my girlfriend's size. My girlfriend started sobbing immediately, ran off into the bedroom. When my girlfriend went to grab another helping of mashed potatoes, my daughter made a comment that cruelly ridiculed my girlfriend's size. My girlfriend started sobbing immediately and ran off into the bedroom. I felt my face turn red and told A to get out. After about a half an hour, A left, and I texted her stating that I would no longer pay her tuition unless 1, she apologized to my girlfriend, and 2, my girlfriend accepted her apology. My daughter must have assumed that I was bluffing because because she instead doubled down on her behavior during Thanksgiving dinner. I then logged into her university's tuition payment website, canceled next semester's tuition, and sent my daughter the screenshots. She called me crying and begging me to reconsider, but I told her my mind was made up.
I mean, honestly, why are you commenting on women's bodies? Like, let's just stop that. I'm over it. Like, you're not the asshole. I think
That's
she
a
needs to
low
learn
blow.
her lesson. Like, it's not your job to be the calorie officer of somebody else's body. And like the fact that you had to comment on that makes me thankful that he did that.
Honestly, it's Thanksgiving. If you're not getting a second helping of mashed potatoes, who are you? Get out.
And like your dad chose this woman, is opening his heart to you guys. Why are you being a fucking asshole? Like,
and it's been a year. Of course, that's not like a ton of time, but it's still, men are known to like move on quicker.
faster.
Not that that's easy for the kids.
I don't know. If I died, I would not want Jordan to sit there and sulk forever. Like, I'd be like,
I would want Jesse too.
If you want,
don't ever move on. I'll haunt you both. One and done, baby.
Like, go for it. I'll watch you in heaven.
Oh, creepy little perv.
Make it a good show.
Oh my God.
Just kidding.
I'm disturbed.
I'm more like, you know what? Life's too short to sit there in your own misery.
Our toddlers are outside the door right now.
Yeah, can you hear them?
Hopefully not. Maybe these mics are decent enough. I also was gonna say, like, okay, a year that's a decent amount, a respectful amount of time, but I also feel like that was like a very random punishment. But I guess what else can you really do when your kid's in college?
Yeah.
You're like, all right, no more college for
I'm
you.
Sure, like right now, that's a really big blow because I was spending like $7,000 a semester on tuition. So like that's rough.
Yeah, that's rough. Maybe she should have said she was sorry.
You live and you learn. She's probably in her early 20s.
It says the dad is the bigger asshole or the daughter is the bigger asshole, and I would for sure say the daughter's the bigger asshole. Do you have your highlights of humanity? Heartwarming highlights. We haven't even officially named the topic.
Yeah, I did put a poll on our last podcast. So if you want to go down below, I think it's just on Spotify. So if you're on Spotify, go down below.
I can put one on the Instagram
episode 6
story.
Yeah, maybe we should do that.
I'll put one on our Instagram story and our Facebook group and then vote heartwarming highlights or highlights of humanity. But either way, this is your feel good video of the week. This chair is making me sound like I'm farting.
I know. We're not farting. It's just the chair.
It's just the chair.
Okay. One thing that makes me bawl every day is the KDWB Christmas wish.
Oh.
The one that I heard on, it was either Thursday or Friday. He, a Navy SEAL, a firefighter, and a volunteer firefighter. I think he was a volunteer firefighter, and all of a sudden one day, like it was just a normal day, and he ended up having an aneurysm, 2 aneurysms in his neck, and then he had a stroke, and then he was in the hospital for 57 days.
Oh my gosh.
And
How old was he?
He's like in his 50s, and he just got out of the hospital like a month ago. And so like they're paying off all the hospital bills, and they're like weren't really gonna know how they were gonna do Christmas, and all their neighbors nominated them for Christmas wish. Yes, Rhea. They didn't know how they were gonna do Christmas because like obviously he was in the ICU for most of the time too.
Oh my gosh. God.
And now he's in like therapy and stuff. And they just didn't know how they're going to do Christmas. And their neighbors nominated them. And they also helped put up their Christmas lights.
Aww.
And then, like the neighborhood just like joined in. And it was so, I like literally cry every time I hear these going to work. But they like got basically all the kids covered for Christmas. They got like a gas card and all these like amazing things that just make the holidays a little bit easier. But I was like, oh.
I feel like that's what's like missing these days is like that nostalgia and like the magic and the feeling of Christmas. Like this neighbors banding together, like that kind of stuff is like what I'm like looking for, you know. But then you realize when you grow up that you're the one making the magic. You don't get to experience it as much. But that's so awesome.
Yeah. I love it. KDWB. Love them.
Gosh, there was one. I'm just going to like bounce off that one really quick. There was like, it was a TikTok video, but this man had 7 children under 14. And
Incredible.
his wife, who was 38, he said they were just hanging out, doing like stuff in the garage, like just having fun and like cleaning up and whatever. And he said just goofing around, and she just fell and dropped dead. Literally just died. Their littlest was 1. And he had 7 children. And I have goosebumps right now because like the people came up to him and they're like, hey, are you so-and-so? And he's like, yeah. And he's like holding his baby, and all the kids are like around him. They must have just gotten home from like church or something. And they're like about to walk in, and he's like, you were nominated. And they gave him like thousands of dollars. And they said they did an autopsy and everything, and there was no definitive cause. She just died. It was so sad. Can you imagine? 7 kids.
No.
I can't imagine
one
parents.
kid's like.
I would feel like that's like a polygamous family that you need to like tackle that many kids.
Do you have any family fails?
I'd say recording this podcast a little bit as the kids are literally pounding on the door.
We are solo parenting. We're single moms
Right
today.
now, yep, for the afternoon today.
Is that like the guinea pigs?
We're just hoping they're not like hurting the guinea pigs outside of the door, but
We'll finish really quick. My family fails. We were making dip pretzels with Kian, and he was doing so good. And he was like dipping them and like putting them on the sheet, dipping them. And then Jordan's like, sometimes we eat them. And he shouldn't have said that because then Kian ate the rest of them that he dipped. Like he ate like 10,
it's
20
hard to not,
pretzels.
Though.
He just dipped them and ate them.
They're the
And I was
best.
like, they're so good.
It's a new pretzel dip. Just dip it in almond bark and
It was a family fail for Jordan. It was a win for Kian, but it was really funny. He was like, no, Kian, sometimes we put them down. And he was just like,
he's like, no.
Eventually he had his whole face in the bowl and he was just like licking the chocolate. And I was like,
oh my God. Okay, I actually spilled, this is a family fail, an entire container, like a large container of sprinkles, which would be like the equivalent of like 4 bottles of sprinkles. I knocked it over and it spilled everywhere all over the kitchen. And they're the tiny little ball sprinkles. So of course they're rolling everywhere. And then my daughters, who are 2 and 7, go over there. They start licking them off the floor. And then they're licking their lips and kissing it. And then they had like lipstick of sprinkles. It actually looked kind of cool. But I'm like, all right, we're gonna be done with this. But
let's not lick it off the floor.
there were so many sprinkles.
I know, and I bet it was just like whoosh.
Yeah, that was exactly the sound it made.
Do you have any mom moments? I have so many. I have at least 3 that I can give you.
Now Sawyer's scratching at the door. That's my dog.
Oh my gosh.
We're so close. I had one funny thing that happened today. We were at a birthday party. My oldest came over to me and she's like, Mom, she always likes to have like everything the same as me. And she's like, Mom, what's your favorite part of the cupcake? Mine's the breading. I was like, the cake? The cake part? That's cake. I'm like, no, yeah, mine's the breading too. She's like, oh, we have so much in common.
The breading.
What are yours?
I also like the breading. Okay, last week when we recorded our podcast, Jordan was being a single dad, and he gave our son a bath. And he was washing his hair, and he hates getting his hair washed. And he was like dipping him in the water, and he was yelling for me. He was like, Mommy, Mommy, Mommy. And Jordan's like, Mommy's not here. And without a beat, he was just like, Pip, Pip. Pip's our cat.
Save me, Pip.
And Jordan's like, Pip
house
is literally not going to save you. She's not going near this water.
No one's going to save you.
I was putting our son to bed this week, and he has like all of his nooks stay in his bed now because he only uses them at night.
Nice round of applause.
Yay! And he made me put all of them in between his toes, and then he took one and he put it in his mouth, and the rest of them like fell on his face.
I'm pretty impressed that his toes can spread out that far.
I mean, I just like hooked them. I hooked them between his toes.
I was like, I can't picture his foot dislocating. All his toes just like.
I'll show you maybe tonight.
Triple extended.
Oh, and then another Pip story. He's been in love with Pip lately, and he's just been like last night we made him upset, and he was like, I just want Pip. And so we had to find Pip, and then he was fine.
Does Pip like him?
She's a really good cat, and she tolerates him. He was like, we had put him in his high chair to eat because he was eating spaghetti, and we're like, we don't want that everywhere. And he was all done, and I was like, okay, can I get you out? And he's like, no, Pip, do it. And I was like, Pip, get you out of your high chair? And he's like, yeah, Pip, do it. And I was like, okay. So I had Jordan come over while I was holding Pip, and Pip like got him out of his high chair. And then we sat him down, and he was like, thanks, Pip.
Oh, I just remembered one more mom moment. My 2-year-old's been wanting us to call her Elsa lately, even though she doesn't like Frozen at all. She just likes the character, and she's like, I'm Elsa.
I mean,
call me Elsa.
She's got the hair.
She does. Elsa. Here with her little lisp.
Call
and then
me
she's
Elsa.
like, I'm not Rhea. I'm Elsa. And Judah, my 5-year-old, he goes, Rhea, you're not Elsa. You're way beautifuler than Elsa.
Oh,
And it was so sweet. And she's like, just smiles. He's the freaking sweetest
he's so sweet.
brother. He is just always so helpful and so kind to them. And he just cherishes Rhea specifically. They're just, I mean, he loves Naya too, but Naya bosses him around so much. But anyway, I just thought that was so sweet. You're more beautifuler than Elsa.
Beautifuler.
So sweet.
I have one more mom moment, and then they're laughing like devils out there. So they probably are feeding the guinea pigs $225 again. But not again. We saw Santa today. I finally decided he was at Ace Hardware, which is like 5 minutes from our house. So I was like, fine, let's go see Santa.
He basically was at your house. He was begging for you to go see him.
So we went and got to see Santa. He was very underwhelmed. He liked his sucker better than Santa. He got a free sucker from the cashier, and he was just like, I literally have a picture of him, and he's like staring at the sucker, smiling at the sucker. Anyways, after we were leaving, because like it literally lasts like 5 seconds, because he was like, peace, see you, Santa. And we were driving away. We were in the car, and he was like, bye, Santa, see you tomorrow. Because he says that every time we leave daycare, too. He's like, bye, daycare, see you tomorrow.
He might actually see him tonight.
Yeah.
There's like a little neighborhood walk-through lights thing one of our neighbors does. Well, they're not really our neighbors, but a street down. They decorate their entire yard super intricately, and then they have just like ask for donations, like canned goods. And so then they have Santa and Mrs. Claus on Saturday nights.
Fun.
I know, it's so sweet.
Surprise, Santa's here again. He doesn't really understand, so that's okay. But anyways, like, subscribe, follow, share, love us, tell your mom friends, tell your dad friends, tell everybody we're cool. They need to listen to us.
Please send us your mom moments and family fails so that we don't have to say them every single week, because
DM us.
We're throwing ourselves under the bus on the daily.
On the daily. Let's throw you under the bus.
We throw you under the bus. Come on.
Boom, boom. We're killing it.
We love you all. All 4 of you.
We love you all. We actually have an average of 30 listens or 30 listeners per podcast. So we love all 30 of you.
We love all 30 of you so much.
We hope you have a good rest of your week, rest of your weekend. Hello. We're being summoned again.
We gotta go. We need to parent for real.
Love you. Bye.
Love ya.
Bye,